Hello, this is Marshall Zhukov, and here we are together again on YouTube. And once again, here we are together again with AC/DC, another one of my favorite AC/DC songs, which nearly inspired me to buy my own set of bagpipes. Anyways, I did make a mistake in an earlier video calling this a 1943 rifle. It's actually 1942 9130. This is the one that I have scout scoped with a 2 to 7 power, whatever it is here, by 32. Long eye relief scope. What I did on this rifle is try to make it so it can be seen. I think it'll stay like that. What I did was I removed the whole rear sight assembly. There are two holes here, one there and one there. I'll have to verify the dates on which the Chef's Arsenal went only to 2 pin holes instead of soldering the rear sight in place, like 1936 or something like that. That sounds pretty close. If your rifle is made at the Chef's Arsenal after 1936, most likely it won't be soldered in place. It'll just be held by 2 pins, so they can be drifted out with a hammer and punch, and the rear sight assembly is drifted off of these dovetail grooves towards the muzzle. And the scope rings that I have here are 22 caliber scope rings. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the measurement of the width of the dovetail base that's on the rifle is 3/8 of an inch, or 5/16 of an inch, something like that. So normal rifle rings are too wide at the base to fit on there. And the high-rise rings in a normal stock, not the ATI stock, it has enough clearance for the rear handguard there, so the scope doesn't hit it at all. But what I'm going to talk about here is this is the rifle I polished the bolt on, the camming surface on the bolt. So I will disassemble the bolt and go through where to sand, what to sand, and polish on the bolt. Okay, I've got the bolt disassembled here, and the first piece we'll look at here is the main bolt body piece. The shiny part right here, this is a place you're going to want to hit with some, like a 220 grit sandpaper, and then you can even go the next level up to a 300 or 400 and then take it to a polishing wheel, a buffer wheel, and just get that nice and shiny. That piece mates right here with this when the bolt rotates as it's cocking. The other place where I did some polishing was right here, around here, and on both sides, the front and back of this. The connecting rod when it's inserted in the bolt, and I need like 3 hands to do all this. And also the locking lugs on the bolt head right here. Both of these in between my fingers, you're going to want to get those, sand them up, lightly sand, and not drop it on the ground. Would be better, and lose it under the bench. So that's just a quick little video on your camming surfaces where you want to polish. Everywhere where there's movement, where the pieces touch each other, come in contact with each other, that's where you're going to want to hit with a little sandpaper and do some polishing as well. And depending on how rough your bolt is, depends on how much sanding you're going to want to do. This one, it wasn't too bad, but it's nicer after I took some of the parts to the polishing wheel. So if there's any questions, comments, suggestions, go ahead and hit me up. I could do a little more on the scout scoping or bolt polishing. Just let me know.